European router database, which you can reach via the website www.seedsfororganic.eu. The session will be about 2 hours, and I will just give a short introduction, and Kaya then will go into detail. Slides are not moving. Okay. As I said, I will just give a short introduction, and then Kaya will give you a step-by-step tutorial. And please feel free to ask your questions or put the questions in the chat directly when they pop up. And I will collect your questions, and every 5 to 10 minutes we have a short break where we can answer the questions. Afterward, we still have some time to give some feedback. And there will be a short wrap up, and then this is the end of the session. To inform you, there was another session last week at the same time for the authorities. So all member states have been invited to learn how to work with databases. Some countries already work with the router databases, but some not. And now we are convincing further authorities to start working with this database. And I think the session last week was quite good for this. And we are looking forward to have more people using the database and, yeah, be more active in the database. Just very briefly, the project has been developed, or the database has been developed during the LiveSeed project, which was a Horizon 2020 project. And now we are working in the LiveSeeding. This is the follow-up project. And we are 37 partners from 15 European countries working on the whole issue of organic seed, organic breeding, accelerating all the whole process in Europe. And within this project, we have the possibility to further implement some features in the database, in the European router database, but also to increase the use of this database. And today we want to show you the use of this database. Just very briefly to the background of this database. As you know, each country has to maintain a national database on the availability of organic seed and propagating material, and as it is mandatory by the regulation. And as you know, there are up to 29, so we have 27 European member states, then we have UK and Switzerland. So in total, we have 29 national databases, which are used according to the regulation. And the quality, the structure, and the use of the databases differs between the different countries. But the legal obligation ends at the border of the database. So it just shows the availability of, for instance, a certain cultivar or variety at national level. But as you know, the distribution of variety is often more tied to pedoclimatic zones or marketing strategies of a provider. So it is not necessarily connected to a national border. And also the propagation of organic vegetable seeds, they are mostly outside of Europe. And of course, the marketing is at an international level. For the arable crops, I think it is not so crucial to have this cross-border marketing possibility, but for the vegetables and the small seed crops, it is quite useful. Therefore, we also did a survey with the suppliers of organic seed and vegetative propagating material, and it showed that most suppliers sell their seeds, organic seeds or material, to several countries. So not just to their country, but they normally list the availability of the organic material only in their own national database because of various reasons. The main reasons are language barriers, administrative burdens, or like some technical issues, and they don't want to manage so many different databases. So to reduce the bureaucracy and the language barriers and to ease the use of several databases, we created this European router database where you have only one login and can manage up to 29 databases in future. Why is this important? The organic regulation states that only seed that is and seedlings or seedlings is wrong, that's not correct. It's vegetative propagating material listed in the national database are legally available. So if they are not listed in the national databases, they don't exist, and then farmers can still get a derogation on the use of non-organic material. And to avoid this, we want to increase the transparency in the national databases, what is available and what is available in national and in other countries. So just to illustrate this, at the moment we have up to 29 different national databases. As I mentioned, 27 European countries and UK and Switzerland. And we have a large number of supply of organic seed and vegetative propagating material. And at the moment, I would say 90% of the supply just supply the seed to their national database because of the reasons I mentioned. But at the reality, the marketing often is done cross-border. So this information often lacks in the national database. So we have a lot of links between the information and trading. And the idea of this European router database is to create a back-end database where supplier have the possibility to log in and upload their seed supply, and then select the countries in which they want to supply or can supply the seeds. But still, there's the possibility for supplier to use their national database. The concept of a European router database just illustrated here. On the left hand, there's a European router database where the international or seed supplier can create an offer or register and create an offer and then send it to a national database, a national competent authority. They have a login to this database, and the authorities need to revise the supplier if they're from another country and to see maybe is there a certificate for organic production and all these legal obligations. And if the authorities agrees, then they can accept the offer, and then this offer should be transferred to their national database. It's on the right side, the green one. The transfer of data could be either via automated programming interfaces, APIs. So, for instance, all organic egg seed countries are using organic egg seeds have this API implemented, or manually, so the authority can download an Excel or a CSV file and implement the information to their national database. Farmers here in gray still use the national database, and local supplier can also still use their national database. So the farmers do not use the European router database because, based on the regulation, they have to approach their national database. The European router database is really a back-end database where we have the possibility to ease the communication between the supplier and national authorities. The European router database has been developed within the LiveSeed project in the year 2020. It was more or less finished, the programming, and in March 21 it was up to date, or it was visible in the and implemented. And in the time from March 21 to September 22 last year, I did a cut. There were 308 suppliers using this European router database, while 143 out of this 804, so approximately 46% of the supply of organic planting material, use this database to supply to more than one country. So we can see that the European router database really offers the possibility to supply your seed to several countries. And 10 out of the 13 countries which are now working with this database have implemented an automated programming interface. But we are eager to develop further automated programming interfaces, and of course to increase the number of countries or authorities using the European router database. During this project, this LiveSeeding project, now we will push forward the authorities to really use this database, but of course there need to be offer published by you as a supplier to be used by the authorities or revised by the authorities. So we are very happy if you make use of this database. As mentioned last week, we had this training for national or regional authorities and seed database managers, and today we have this training for the supplier. If you have any further questions, please ask them directly in the chat or send an email afterwards to Kaya and me. We will send you afterwards all slides and the recording of this session today. So yeah, lean back and listen. And whenever you have a question, just put it into the chat or raise your hand. Thank you very much and enjoy.
So, hello, my name is Kaya Gutzen. So also welcome from my side and thank you all for joining. I will now share my screen. One moment. So, okay. My name is Kaya Gutzen. As I said, I work for FIBO Germany, and there I'm responsible for the European router database and also the organic egg seeds national databases. And today I want to give you a tutorial for suppliers. So together we will go through the menu that suppliers see once they register, and I will explain you each function that you have in each of those menu items. Okay, you've already seen this graph. Just to show you quickly again who uses which database. So the EU router database, which I will show you today, is used by suppliers from all over the EU, and also all national authorities have a login. Then it is also used by us, FIBO, as the router database managers. And you can use the router database to place your offers, and they can be transferred to all national databases in the EU, either directly through an API in the case of organic egg seeds. All national authorities can download it manually and then upload it in the national database. In the case of organic egg seeds, suppliers need to use the router database. So suppliers cannot use organic egg seeds anymore. Organic egg seeds is only used by farmers and control bodies or competent authorities for the derogation process. In the case of another national database than organic egg seed, it might be that you still can place your offer in each of those databases. And it might also make sense in case the national authority of that country is not actively using the router database, because it's not mandatory to use the router database. But in the case of organic egg seeds countries, it is used actively. Okay. Now I want to show you the process of how an offer comes from the router database to organic egg seeds, and which steps you as a supplier have in this process, which is here indicated by the dark blue boxes. So first, you will need to register to the router database, and when you register, you need to indicate a valid organic certificate. You can do that with either connecting with BOC. So BOC is another platform where control bodies can upload organic certificates, and when the certificates are kept up to date there, they're also automatically kept up to date in the router database. But it's not used by all countries, so you also have the option of uploading a PDF and then keeping it up to date yourself. So I will show you today how you can do that. And then the next step would be that you select the countries that you want to place your offers to. So you basically apply to the national authority. So that's why it's also very important to indicate a valid organic certificate, because the national authority then can see the certificate and accept you as a supplier. Once you accept it, you can search the cultivar catalog and place your offer for the cultivars that you find. If the cultivar that you want to offer is not in the catalog yet, you can also create a new cultivar and then place your offer for that cultivar. So I will also show you how you can do that. Before your offer can appear in the national database, it has to be accepted by the national authorities. So when we developed the router database, this was explicitly a wish by the authorities that they have this option of evaluating offers. But they can also say that they automatically accept the offer from certain suppliers. Only if you have created here a new cultivar because you haven't found it in the cultivar catalog, it will need to be evaluated first by the national authority to make sure that, for instance, the denomination is correct and that there's no double entries in the cultivar catalog. Once it is accepted, your offer will automatically and directly be displayed in Organic X-Seeds through the interface. So that's why Organic X-Seeds can really show the real-time market situation. If a national database other than Organic X-Seeds is used, the offer must first be imported by the national authority. So there might be a slight delay. Then you're required to keep your offer up to date, and you're also reminded to do so. And whenever you change something of your offer, so the availability, this will be also automatically be changed in Organic X-Seeds. Okay, now let's take a look how the database looks like. And the first step is, of course, how to register. Before I explain you that, just a note that we've translated the database in all European languages. So here you can change the database in your national language. This was quite a big task to translate it in all languages, as also because slightly different wordings are used, not everything can be translated directly. So if you notice any mistakes, please let us know and we can correct them. Then here you have the option of registering when you're using the database for the first time, which I will show you in a bit. Then we have a public search function, which shows all suppliers that have already been registered and accepted, which I will show you a bit later. And if you're already registered, you can directly log in. If you've forgotten your password, you just click here. And then you can reset your password. But now let's click on Register as Supplier. And first, you will need to indicate your address, which will also be made public, for instance, when you look here for search for suppliers. In the second step, you will need to indicate your organic certificate. So as I explained you have the option of connecting with BOC just by selecting the country of certification and then typing in your control number. And if for some reason it doesn't work directly to connect with BOC, you might need to check first BOC how your control number is uploaded by your control body, because in different countries, maybe slightly different formats are used. If your country is not using BOC, you can upload a certificate here and then also indicate the certificate or until when it is valid. And the third step would then be to define your own username and your own password. And then you log in and your menu will look like this, like you see on the left side. And now we will go together through each of those menu items and we will cover 6 main topics: how to manage my account, how to apply to EU countries, how to create new offers, how to edit existing offers, how to confirm the availability of offers, and how to export offers. So for the first topic, how to manage my account, you go to My Account, Country Management. And here you can first manage your login data. So if you click on Edit Login Data, you can also create several logins so that you can really use one account for also several employees. So also if you have several sales addresses in the EU, you can really only create one account, and for each of those sales addresses, for each of the contact person or the responsible person, you have a single login and access the same account, so that it is easier for you to place one offer in several countries. Then we have the address management, where you can change the main address. And you will have the country management, which I will show you in a bit. First, we will look here at the certification. So here, for instance, if you have uploaded a certificate in PDF form, you can keep it up to date here. And you can also upload a logo, which will then be also displayed in Organic Exits. Now we will look at how to apply to EU countries, and there are 3 menu items interesting. First, we will go back to My Account Country Management, and this time we will look at the country management here. So you've seen now that this supplier has already been accepted in Germany. Yes, if you click on Edit, you can change the sales address for that country and also the contact person for that country. And if you click on Set Delivery Information, you can type in some delivery information. So for each country you want to offer material in, you can define sales address, contact person, and delivery information. So you might say that in a country you can only deliver to certain regions, or you can only deliver a minimum quantity. Those information you can then type in here. Here you have a drop-down list, and then select the country that you now want to apply to. And under archive list, you can also deactivate countries. When you say, for instance, that you cannot deliver anymore to a certain country, you can deactivate it. Now let's click on Request to apply to, in this case, Sweden as an example. So for each country, as I said, you can define a sales address that will be displayed in Organic Exits, for instance, to farmers if they want to contact you to make a purchase. If you don't have a national sales address, you can also just click here, make a cross or a tick here, and say that you use the main address, and then it will automatically fill out the main address here. Yes. And then you will need to define a contact person for each of those countries. And this is necessary as it's visible to authorities and to us administrators of the database. And the aim is to facilitate, for example, possible inquiries about offers between authorities and suppliers. So when you place your offer and the authority evaluates that offer and maybe has a question, it's good if the authority can directly see the responsible person and directly ask questions about this offer. Then you click on Save, and the authority will be informed about your application. And here you will see that now the status is pending. And once the authority has evaluated you, you will also be notified by mail, and you can go again to country management and see whether you have been accepted or rejected. So in this case, I just show you an example of how it would like if you're rejected. And directly behind you see the reason for rejection. So it might be that the authority asked you or saw that your certificate is not up to date anymore and asked you to update your certificate. If you then click on Edit, you can also again change sales address and so on, but you will also see again the reason for rejection, and also you will see the contact person of the authority in Sweden, with which you then communicate to say that now you have updated your certificate. And as I've showed you before, here's where you can update your certificate under the management of uploaded certificates. Yes. There's also an internal messaging system. So here under there's a drop-down list of all the countries. And then you can select the country with whose authority you want to get in contact with. Then you just click on begin and you start the conversation. The same way also authorities can contact you. And new messages are then indicated here in brackets with a number. However, it's only an internal messaging system, so there's no notification by mail. So it might also be worthwhile to contact by mail if you see that you don't immediately receive a reply, if, for instance, the authority does not check the messages every day. And then thirdly, we have the search function, which is a public search function, so also available without prior login. And here you will find all suppliers that have registered and already have been accepted by a country. So as soon as you're accepted by a country, in this case Germany, you will appear as a supplier for Germany. You can also directly search for the name of a supplier and also search for all suppliers of a certain species. So as soon as this supplier has an accepted offer, the corresponding species will be displayed here, and the supplier will be displayed as a supplier of potato in this case. So now let's take a small break and see whether you already have some questions on this. You can place your questions in the chat. And
Kaya,
yes.
Raya, sorry, can I take the opportunity while people formulate questions? There seems to be 2 people in another page. I don't know if it's sorted meanwhile, but Solène Perenec and somebody else are in a kind of another room.
Yeah, I don't know how to solve the problem. I send another, the link.
There was a function, I'm trying to look for it, to invite people into this room. Just one second, let me see if I can.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I couldn't see it. Okay, so we see, is there any question or any hand raised? Just Mariano. Okay, at the moment, no question. I think you can continue.
Okay.
I think there will be some more.
Yeah. Okay, then I will continue. And now we will look at how to create new offers. And for this, first, a short explanation. So in each country, every species can be subdivided into groups, on which level the classification into category 1, 2, and 3 takes place. So this subdivision in our English translation is called species groups, but in your country it might be called slightly differently. So for instance, it might be called variety groups, or it might be called subgroups. So when you place an offer, this cultivar needs to be allocated to one of those species groups. And the national authorities are responsible of defining those subcrops. And it might be also that there's only one subcrop for one species if it's not necessary to further subdivide it. And then this one subcrop is maybe only called not specified, or in German we say allgemein, so general or common. And as I said, on this level, the categorization will take place. And the categorization indicates the availability of this organic material, which is then important for farmers to see, and then in case if there's a lack of availability, to ask for derogation. So if we have a very high availability, this species group is put on category 1. So it's also the task of national authorities to do this. If they put it on category 1, farmers generally cannot get a derogation, only in exceptional cases like research or seed production. If the authority puts it on category 2, farmers can get a single derogation if there's the cultivar not available. And in case of category 3, farmers can get a general derogation. And when you place your offer, there are 3 cases. So in the first case, it is that the cultivar already exists in the cultivar catalog and it has already been allocated to a species group. So this is the easiest case. You can directly place your offer. In the second case, the cultivar also is already in the cultivar catalog, but it has not been allocated yet to a species group in the country you want to offer. In this case, you will need to recommend a species group to the national authority that they will then also see when they evaluate your offer. And in the third case, the cultivar that you want to offer does not exist in the cultivar catalog yet. So then you will first need to create the cultivar and then place your offer. And now I will show you how each of those 3 cases looks like in the database.
Kaya, there's a question in between. Can
Yes.
you explain a single derogation, our category 1, 2, and 3? I think this is not clear.
Okay, so this takes place in the case of organic egg seeds, it takes place in the national database, and farmers are using then organic egg seeds to search the availability of organic material. And if they then don't find organic material for the cultivar that they want, they can ask for derogation to use non-treated, non-organic material. But for that, they need to request a derogation. But depending on the categorization of the species group, the derogation process is a bit different. So in the case of category 1, as I said, normally no derogation can be requested because there's enough organic material. In the case of category 2, the inspection body or the competent authority can issue a single derogations. So the farmer asks for a derogation and has to fill out a derogation form, and then the authority or the inspection body processes this derogation. They will see whether the cultivar is available or not. If it's not available, they can accept the derogation, and the farmer for 1 season gets the derogation to use conventional material. In the case of category 3, there's in general not enough organic material, so the farmer gets a general derogation. So this means in the case, at least in organic egg seeds, it is that it doesn't have to be accepted by the authority or the inspection body before. They just need to fill out a form to document this general derogation, but they can immediately use the conventional material. The derogation request doesn't have to be accepted by the authority. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for this explanation. And maybe I need to add that this is not just for the countries using organic egg seed. This categorization, of course, this 1, 2, and 3 is not explicitly written down in the regulation. It is, but the terms cut 1, cut 2, and cut 3, they are more or less given by the actors working in this on this issue. And according to the regulation, for each country, category 2 and 3 applies. So a single derogation, farmer has to ask for derogation 1 by 1. And general derogation means they don't need to ask for derogation, they just need to report what they have used. And for the category 1, this category 1, where there's sufficient organic material available, this is quite new, although already about 8 or 10 countries in Europe use this category 1, where there is sufficient organic material available, but not all countries. And of course, it would be great if further countries, according to this categorization, find the time to see which crop or subcrop belongs to which category, to make it more transparent. And to make it a bit more complex, France even has a category 4. This is more like a warning list, so there will be crops that will move to category 1 will be on category 4. So before you go, it's a little bit confusing, but this is another warning list for the supplier and the farmers, that they know, for instance, in 2 or 3 years, this crop will be no more possible for any derogation. So
Yes.
I will have two more questions. Maybe we can ask them directly, and then we can proceed. There was one from Ilse. She is asking, how long in advance can I order the variety I need for seed grower for cereals, for instance, 1 year? She's asking.
So this would be the case that a farmer wants to order the seeds. So I'm not sure whether I understand the question.
Ilse, are you there? Can you explain the question in more detail?
Yes, of course. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. It's about I need this variety, but non in who grow this. I don't don't see in this catalog anybody is not offer this variety, or sometimes I need special variety, for example oats, and I offer this supplier or who grows this variety and offer 1 or 2 years only before me this needs this variety for cereals or other things, or maybe potatoes. And it's why I change my for example, I change and need grow other variety. For example, one varieties and changing to other varieties, and I need before I grow one, and I need to change it, which I offer somebody in this category, or I find in my country.
So when to check the availability of what is offered, you normally use your national database.
Yes, but if you are a router database, I not possible to grow in our for northern countries. And if I check in your router database, but I don't know it's allowed to grow in our countries. For example, Baltic states. It's not the same to German or Spain and other countries. It's other growing fields on some. Yes, it's not possible to.
So normally, if a cultivar is registered, it can be used in all European countries, but it can be, of course, that it's not so suitable to be grown in certain pedoclimatic conditions.
Yes, it's of course, yes. But in my main questions, if allowed to in this router database find to other who growing in this data, who grows these varieties and offer how long before this maybe researcher institute or other who put this sort in our this variety part in your database. How long before? 1 year, 2 years before? Maybe I change all my varieties and I have very huge many tons of these seeds.
So when suppliers place their offers in the router database, they're required to keep it up to date. So if they have it That's why then when it is transferred to the national database shows only the current availability.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
I hope that's the answer to
Yes,
your question.
yes.
Okay.
I read some countries, but it's not don't answer in this question. It's thank you.
Okay, and there was another question.
Yes, if there's still a question, Ilse, maybe we can get in contact via email about this. Fabiana is asking from her side, it is not clear if it is mandatory to use this portal to this
No.
European router database.
No, it's not mandatory to use the database. It's mandatory to have a national database, but it's not mandatory for suppliers to use it. No. Of course, it would be very helpful, because if the offer doesn't appear in the national database, farmers can ask for derogations to use conventional material, even though there might be organic material available.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we can continue.
Okay, we will have a bit more time afterwards also for questions again. Okay, so now I want to show you the first case. So if you click on Add New Offer, you will find the cultivar catalog. And then you will first search the cultivar catalog whether the cultivar that you want to offer is available already in the cultivar, already exists in the cultivar catalog. So here I find the entry. And if you click on Edit, it's a bit misleading. I will change the translation because you can't really edit anything here. You can see more information on the cultivar. So you will see the breeder, the breeding method, and whether it has already been allocated to a species group in different countries. And if you click on New Offer, you can then place your offer for that cultivar. So now let's first click on Edit. And here, as I said, you see the breeder and breeding method, and you see also it has already been allocated to a species group in Germany. And as I now want to offer my my material to Germany, it means I don't have to recommend a species group because it already has an existing species group. So now I click on New Offer. And first, you will need to put some general information on your offer. So this is a drop-down list from which you can select. And you will need to indicate the form and the quality of your offer, the certification, and the status. So here in the status, you can change between organic, in-commercial material, and material approved according to 186. So that means it is planting material that comes from approved non-organic planting material. So this was a requirement by the European Commission that we included recently, and we're still in a lot of discussion with authorities and the European Commission. So there might be some changes, also some questions from you regarding this planting material. But it is basically planting material that has the status of organic, but to be able to report about it, it needs to be labeled as approved according to 186. And it's planting material that comes from non-organic planting material. Then below, you will have the list of countries that you have already been accepted to. So in this case, we have only Germany. And then you can say my offer is directly available, or you can also say my offer is currently not available, and then you select the date here, and at this date, the offer will automatically be put to available. And only available offers will be shown in organic exceeds. And then you can place, define some delivery information for this offer. So as I showed you before, you can put general delivery information for a country, and then also type in some delivery information only for an offer. And for mixtures, it is mandatory to indicate here the components in this mixture. Yes, and then you save this, and the authority will be informed that there's a new offer. And once the authority has accepted the offer, it will appear in Organic Exceeds, or it can be downloaded to appear in other national databases. Now we have the case of a cultivar that is also in the cultivar catalog. But if we now click on Edit, we will see it is not allocated to a species group yet in Germany, only in the United Kingdom, Great Britain. So we again click on New Offer. And we first also again make general information on this offer: form, quality, certification, and status. Then we make country-specific information, so on the availability and delivery information. And then you have another field here where you now can see the species groups that are used in Germany, and you will need to recommend a species group. So you will need to recommend to the authority in Germany into which species group this cultivar would fit into. And the authority, when they evaluate the offer, they will see what you recommend, and it's easier for them then to evaluate the offer. And then again, you click on Create, and the authority will be informed about your offer. Now we have the third case where you look for a cultivar, but you don't find it in the cultivar catalog yet. Then before you click on Create New Cultivar, I advise you to check the spelling, or maybe also check whether the cultivar that you want to offer is maybe saved under a slightly different cultivar name, so that we avoid double entries. So for instance, some cultivars, it's more common to use, for instance, the French translation or the English-German translation, and then you can maybe first search for this denomination, or you can also search for all cultivars of a certain species and check whether it's already available. But if it's not available, you can click on Create New Cultivar. And then first you will need to select the category and species your cultivar fits into. Then you will need to put in the denomination of the cultivar and indicate the breeder and breeding method if known. And also when you put in the denomination of the cultivar, please check also again spelling and whether it's the right denomination, so how the cultivar was registered. And then below you see the same information as before. You put in the farm quality, certification, and status, and then select the countries you want to offer this to. Okay, so now I want to show you how it looks like when you have been selected, accepted to more than one country. So now we have been accepted to Germany and Sweden, and then you can place your offer directly to both countries or also only to one country. So this has the advantage that you need to put the general information only once, and then tick the countries that you want to offer to and only specify the country-specific information for this offer. So now we also want to place this offer in Sweden. And depending on the country, it might be that there's more information required. So it might be that in some countries the quantity is mandatory. It might be that there's a checkbox that you have to tick to give more information on the offer. So for instance, whether the offer was tested for certain diseases or is suitable for certain pedoclimatic conditions. So we have the possibility of adapting the database a bit to the country-specific requirements and ask more information on an offer if a country requires this. Okay, now let's take again a short break and see whether you have more questions on this.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. There's one question from Mariano. He's asking what the point 186 means. I think it's quite important to give a bit more clarification on this.
So this is an article in the regulation 2022-474. and it covers planting material that can be sold as organic, but it comes from approved non-organic planting material. So let's say a nursery doesn't wants to produce planting material, but there's not enough organic planting material available to produce this planting material. And then he can get a derogation to use non-organic planting material. So it basically applies to nurseries that are producing also planting material. And in this case, as I said, it can be sold as organic. It has the status organic, but it also needs to be labeled as approved according to 186 to be able to document to the European Commission. So this is the status as it is now, but we are also still in discussion with authorities and the European Commission on this to really define more the specific conditions, because I know that there's a lot of different planting material, different qualities, whether it's annual or perennial, whether it's vegetative, generative, whether it's a rootstock, whether it's like a different quality. So we need to more define that there are certain conditions, and then we will define the conditions. Also, you will see it in the maybe the landing page of the database, where we will then define the conditions. So this is still a bit of a process that we're still in at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. There's also a FAQ page from the European Commission. I just put into the chat this FAQ, a long list of FAQs, and also I think from page 35 on point 186 is explained in more detail. But still, if you have questions on this, you can write an email directly to Kaya and me, because we are in contact with the European Commission, and we collect all this information, all these questions, and see whether we might develop a further webinar. So if you have a specific case where this still remains unclear after you have revise this FAQ, please come back to us. So there's another question. I hope there's some noise in my background. I hope you can or you don't hear this noise. There's one question from Christopher. He's asking, can you clarify why 4.74, I think this is also referring to an article, refers to seedlings and not to seeds? Do you know this by heart, Kaya?
Article 474. No, I don't know this by heart.
Yeah,
sorry, I don't. It's not Article 474.
Okay.
It's Regulation 2022/474,
Uh-huh.
which is the one that amends 848. And in the title and in the text, it refers to seedlings. In English, a seedling is a small plant which is then planted out. It's not a seed. Did they mean seeds, or are they referring to what we would refer to as transplants?
No, they refer to conventional mother plants. Like, I think that's the wording that is used in the regulation. So normally it does not cover seeds.
Right, that's really important, because if it doesn't cover seeds, then some of what you've been saying about 474 in relation to the rooter or organic X seeds at a national level is different, because mostly we're talking about seeds as small grains which you plant in the soil and then grows into a plant, or you plant it in a greenhouse and it grows into a plant and then you plant it out. And I'm confused by that use of the word seedlings, but maybe you shouldn't persist. But I think it's a question to clarify, unless someone knows the answer. Thank you.
I think it's definitely a question that we will also address with the European Commission, because you're not the first person to ask this. Just as how I understand the regulation, it only speaks about planting plant reproductive material, which can also be seeds. But I think in the regulation it does not say seedlings, but mother plant.
In the title of the regulation, it says seedlings, But
Okay.
either way, plant reproductive material includes everything.
It also includes seeds, yes.
So therefore, it would include seeds. It's just slightly confusing in the way that the use of the word seedlings. That I think yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
And also, if maybe there's there's someone like a nursery who's participating. I think normally you're not working with seeds, but with directly, yeah, seedlings or grafting with rootstocks. So that's why I would expect that it, yeah, it's not necessarily seeds.
Yes, we have a hand raised from France.
Yes, hello everyone. Just to bring a point of view on this regulation. As we understand it in France, everyone has his comprehension. So the 186 in the Delegated Act 474, I think it seedlings. In fact, in French we don't have the good translation, and I think seedlings, as it is presented in the regulation, refers to young plants from a vegetative multiplication. Okay, like a plant of fruit trees, and I think it's pretty. We have a clarification because it is annual cultures are excluded from this derogation. So annual cultures which have a cycle between plantation and fructification of only 1 year. Do you know
Yes.
what I'm referring to?
Yes, an annual seedling can never become an organic seedling.
So
yeah, that's true.
if it's yes, so if annual seedlings are excluded from this 186 derogation, so I think it means we are on a perennial, pluriannual plants. So I think it's not for seedlings do not concerns young species like salad or tomato or it's not this kind of seedlings for vegetables, for example.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. Yeah, also from my understanding, annual seedlings are not included in this this article.
Okay, thank you very much for this clarification. Maybe there's another question to our French colleague. Can you explain some more about category 4 or your warning list, how this works, and if this is also available in other countries? Julian, can you explain?
Yes, of course. So what we call category 4, in fact, is would be better called category 2.5 because it's a step from the second to the, or 1.5 is the step to the second to the one, from the second to the one, because in fact we're coming from a single derogation, a possible derogation, as we call it in France, and we go to no derogation list. But the simple fact is that we are preventing. We inform all the seed actors, all farmers and seed producers that in 3, 4, 5 years we will stop derogations. So the aim of this list is to create a movement, a global movement, and a fluid movement to go to no derogation That is a really big step for some species. So, but on this list, it functions like a single derogation. If the variety you want is not available, you can ask for derogation.
Thank you very much. To my knowledge, currently no other country is using this list, but for instance, as proposed by the LiveSeed project, we recommend each country to develop a roadmap where for each crop it is clear, for instance, when it will be in which category. And also this could include this category 1.5 or category 4 to make it more transparent for everyone that a certain crop or subcrop will be on the category 1 list to a certain time. Okay, thank you very much. I think we have some more questions. For instance, Francis is asking, can a future offer also be placed or offered, for example, available in the year 25 or 26?
Yes, so when you are creating the offer, you can say here that it's currently available, but you can also select that it's unavailable, and then you have here, you can indicate the date when it is available from. And at this date, it will automatically appear as available.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just read it was a post a little bit further down. Thank you very much for this information from Denmark. Inge, they have a warning list too in Denmark, so very great to know this. I wasn't aware of this. So thank you very much for this information. And also Inge posted that from her understanding about this seedlings, it's small plants from seeds that can be harvested within the first season. Do you agree on this?
Small plants from seeds that harvest in the first season. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is something that we will also need to discuss with the European Commission, because apparently there's still a lot of confusion of what it actually covers.
Okay, I think we will come back with you with a separate webinar on this. Definitely. Okay, thank you very much. And also Christopher then refers to the post of Inge again. So I think we will keep up with this 186 issue and inform everyone when we have another session on this. So I think you can continue. Thank you very much.
Okay. Then now we will look at how to edit existing offers. And for that, first we will go to My Offers. And here you will find all the offers that you have created. But by default, only available offers are shown below here. So you can also select unavailable and archive to also show all the other offers. If you click on the country of the offer, you can change the country-specific information. So that means the availability and the delivery information, and whether there were any other information asked for that country. And as I said, for mixtures, it is necessary to indicate the components and the delivery information. And if, for instance, the components slightly change of your mixtures, but otherwise the denomination remains the same, you could only change those delivery information here. Then if you want to change the general information for your offer, so before we had the country-specific information, and now we want to change the general information of the offer, you click on Edit Master Data, and here you can then change the farm quality, certification, and status. If you click on Show Cultivar Information, you will find again, information on the cultivar, so the breeder, breeding method, and as we have seen also before, so in which countries the cultivar was allocated to which species groups. And you can click on history, and then you can see the offer tracking, which I will show you in a bit in the next menu item. First, I want to show you how you can place the same offer now also in another country. So let's say you have been accepted by Germany, you have created this offer, but now you're also accepted in Sweden. And instead of having to add a new offer, you can just place the same offer now also in Sweden by clicking on Create New Offers. And then you just need to add the country-specific requirements for Sweden. And then you will see that now this offer is placed in Germany and Sweden, but in Sweden it's still in process. So in Germany that's already been accepted, so it will also appear in Organic Egg Seeds, so the national database of Germany. In Sweden, it still needs to be evaluated by the authority. And also you can change here the availability of your offer. You can do that for each offer individually, or you can also archive, for instance, in all countries. So if you here click, for instance, on the red button, you will make it unavailable. And if you click on archive, you will archive it. And here I just want to show you different availability statuses. So for instance, the first offer has been made unavailable. The second offer is available in Germany, but archived in Sweden. And the third offer is archived in Sweden. And here also sees different evaluation statuses by the authorities. So the first one has been rejected. The second one is accepted in Germany and still in process in Sweden, and the third one is also in process in Germany. Once it is accepted, it will be available or visible in Organic Egg Seeds. If your offer is rejected, you can click on History and you will find the reason for rejection. So for instance, you will find here reason for rejection. Could you provide me with further information on ... regarding this offer? And you will also find the email contact of the authority that you can then answer to. And then they can re-evaluate your offer and accept it. The same thing you will see when you click here on offer tracking. So on offer tracking, you can select a certain period, or also see all changes of a certain cultivar or in a certain country. So for instance, you will see that I have created the offer for Andante on the 15th of March. And also I have offered this Andante now also in Sweden, but I made it unavailable, and so on. So you will see all the offers that you have made, all the changes that you have made to your offers. And also again, here you will find the rejection method with the email that you can contact. Yes. Let's take again a small break and see whether you have a question in the chat.
Yes, there's one at the moment about future availability. So if you put there will be availability in the coming year, maybe. Can the potential user, so the customer, so the farmer, see, for instance, in the national database, the future offer, or will he see only this at the time when the offer is available?
So I can only speak for Organic Egg Seeds as a national database. And there, when the farmer first searches for a cultivar, he will only see what is available, but then he has the option of only seeing currently unavailable offers, and then also the future offer will appear. So it is visible, but it's not directly visible, let's say, because the farmer is more interested in what is available at the moment. But then it will also be indicated once you click on show also unavailable offer, it will be indicated as an offer that is available in the future.
Yeah, so maybe to add on, in the organic egg seed database, you have the possibility as a customer or as a farmer, but any other user, so you don't have to register to this database. You can see the available offers, and there's a possibility to filter also for the unavailable offers. And there, this offer will pop up because this offer will be available in future, but not at the moment. Yeah.
Yes, and again, exits, it shows also any past availabilities as well. So you can see current availability, potential future availability, and past availability.
Okay, thank you. That's it for the moment.
Okay. Then I want to show you how to confirm the availability of your offer. So this is a very important point. Because it's very important to keep your offers up to date so that farmers are informed about the current availability. And 30, 45, and 60 days after your last change, you will be asked by mail to confirm the availability of your offers. And if no confirmation has taken place, your offer will be set to unavailable after 60 days. But it's very easy to confirm the availability of your offers. You just go here to this menu item, confirm timeliness of my offers. And here just click on confirm timeliness of offers in Germany or Sweden or directly in all countries. And then you will only be reminded again to confirm this in 30, 45, and 60 days. And then lastly, I want to show you the offer export function. So here you can export your offers in a table form. You can say you want to export only what is what you have indicated as available or unavailable, or also archived offers. And then you will get a table that will look a bit like this. So you will see the country, the species, the cultivar, the species groups, the form, quality, and status. You will see whether you've indicated delivery information and quantity. And you will see also whether it's currently available or whether it has been processed by the authority. So this is just a function for you to get an overview of all the offers that you have created in the router database. And then lastly, I want to inform you about relaunch and other updates. So we are at the very beginning of a relaunch of organic egg seeds because the last relaunch there is almost 10 years ago. And this will also entail some updates of the router database. But as I said, we're at the very beginning of this relaunch, and the relaunch itself will also take a couple of times. But we thought it's necessary because there have been just technological changes and changes in the regulation. So when we initially set up the databases, they were designed to fit the needs of seeds, but is now also used in general for plant reproductive material. So this is one of the objectives, to adapt to the requirements of that. And then we also make the database more flexible to adapt it more easily to country-specific requirements. And then, as we're also in the LiveSeeding project, we also have some ideas there of what to improve. So for instance, we want to increase the transparency of which species groups and which categories, and that you can also compare it in different European countries. And we also want to establish more interfaces also to other national databases, so not only organic egg seeds. Yeah, so you can stay tuned for those updates. And now we come to the end. So I want to thank you for the attention. And now I'm also available again to your questions.
Thank you very much, Kaya. Are there any other questions? You can raise your hand or put them into the chat. Otherwise, we are very good in time. We have 45 minutes left, but still we can close the session earlier, so no problem. As I said, we have recorded the session. You can watch it again and pose your questions, and yeah, send also emails to Kaya or me. There's another question from Christopher. Do you want to explain it to us?
Thanks. Yeah, it's just in the context of all this great work and all of what's achieved in LiveSeed and now with LiveSeeding and what you just described to us today, for which thank you very much. What do you think the chance of success to achieve the requirement set in regulation for only organic planting material from 2036? Do you think we may still need to have some specific ongoing derogations that I think we may well need?
I think this is a very difficult target because we have so many crops where we have to deal with, and also the plant reproductive material. I think for several countries and for several crops, I think it's achievable. Although reaching 100% is really difficult, also for those countries who already use this category 1, because, for instance, if you have a low yielding year where you have also problems in the seed production, you also have problems in the supply of organic seed, also on those crops where there's normally sufficient seed, and then you have to go back to category 1. And so I think it is possible to push forward for many crops, but I don't know if we reach this 36 aim of 100%. I think that's still to be discussed. Yes.
The reason I ask is I think it's really important that LiveSeeding recognizes this and starts to see where targeted continued derogations will be needed, because we don't want to suddenly get to the end and we hadn't thought about it at all. And actually, we are all thinking about it, and many of the people on this call today. So I think it's important that LiveSeeding takes note of that and thinks strategically, what might the outcome be. And the other thing I just wanted to briefly mention is it's something that you said right at the start, is that most of the vegetable seed is actually coming from outside Europe. Getting a better handle on the location of production and the security of the production and therefore the supply, it prompts the need for improving the status even of seeds and in Europe. And we need to target how we might achieve that, because ultimately getting vegetable seeds from China is potentially a risky solution. We should be aiming to strengthen our seed sovereignty within Europe, and I think that also is part of LiveSeeding's business. But sorry, it's a really interesting call, and I shouldn't have said this. I'm really sorry. It sort of caused the... Anyway, thank you very much.
No, you're completely right. We have several tasks in this LiveSeeding project where we deal with all this upscaling and scaling out of the organic seed multiplication. So there's a lot of information that will follow and connecting stakeholders. But of course, I think it is very important for the different countries that each authority becomes active to revise the availability of their organic seed and vegetative material production in their country, and to see where are the bottlenecks, what needs more promotion, and where's a big gap. And of course, we try to collect this information, but we also need the support of the authorities, and we are working on this actually. But we will not solve this information gap within LiveSeeding. I think there's another project needed to follow up on this, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe someone is better informed than me. I think in the regulation it is written that there's evaluation done by the European Commission. There's a report to be sent to the European Parliament about the status of the derogations or the need of derogations in the coming years. And I know that DG Agri is very active in collecting the information or trying to get this information to make this report. But of course, if we just collect the availability of seeds or the number of derogation, it does not give us the answer if we can reach this 36 target. So I think it is important to connect all the actors, to connect all the knowledges, and to push forward in the subject. And I totally agree. We don't want to be dependent on a seed from China. Yeah. Okay, there's one further question. Noreen is asking if it is possible to export offers. Can they be exported as CSV files?
I think normally it is I think it's a CSV file.
Yeah. Then Francis is asking, I came in a little late just to clarify. So if I use the router database, I no longer have to use Organic XSeed to post our offers. So the router database is a unique counter.
So in the case of Organic XSeeds, you need to use the router database. You cannot use Organic XSeeds anymore to put in your offer. Only in the case of another national database than Organic XSeeds is used, you might also need to use that national database. But with the router database, you can place your offer in all Organic XSeeds countries.
And okay, thank you very much. And then Christopher is asking when the report is expected. I think you have to check the regulation. I think it is year 27 or 28. So, and Christopher again, the process of derogation is a negative obligation. I can use organic seed, so I need a derogation. I can't use organic seed, so I need a derogation. We want to report how much organic seed is used. Can you report from the router or organic seed the total amount of seed of different varieties in the member state about the organic seed is used? No.
No, we cannot report the quantity of seed because it's not a mandatory information for the suppliers to indicate when they place their offer.
Yeah, Christopher, once again.
Thank you. And I really appreciate that we have this time for discussion. You know, it's great that you scheduled enough time. I think that I asked the question knowing the answer, and that represents a fundamental problem, because what we have is a situation where there isn't a presumption that we're using organic seeds. The derogation process is, if you like, a negative process. It shows what I had to use because I couldn't get organic. Router and Organic X potentially allows you also to monitor how much seed is being used and what area that's relevant to, because obviously if it has a derogation hasn't been applied for, then the rest of the seed one would assume has been organically is organically produced. Now, I've been doing a little bit of investigation on derogations and specifically focusing on carrots as a particular reason why carrots is quite a good case study. And it appears to me there's the implication is that an awful lot of organic carrot seed is used, which I don't actually believe. Because if you look at the number of derogations and the area of carrots that would plant in the UK, how much carrots that would produce, and how does that compare with the total market for carrots, it seems to me that it's a little bit optimistic, because I know that most of the major carrot producers seek and get derogations. So that's why I think we need to think in live seeding about turning this around, if you like, and seeing if we can explore ways of getting positive information about how much seed is used and what area that involves. Obviously, that isn't the purpose of live seed, nor was it the purpose. Isn't the purpose of live seeding? Wasn't the purpose of live seed, but it exposes us to a risk. I see that Freya's just put up.
This is a publication which derived from the LiveSeed project, where we did the first estimation of supply and seed in Europe. and we want to continue this
Yeah.
in the LiveSeeding project. We want to continue this estimation, and I think this is very important to collect this information. And of course, you could read this. And
I'm familiar with that paper. I'm familiar with that paper, and also Suzanne Pardell and others on the credibility gate reach in 2036. And those both alert me to the problem that we have. And I mean, it's great that you're continuing on all this work. But I will stop now because I have spent too long talking.
No, it's okay. Actually, we will send out an expert validation, because we have this estimation of supply and demand of the years, I think 2015 to 2019, and we want to collect the years, the past years, and maybe also an estimation of the coming years. And therefore, we will come back to all the seed supplier to ask them their best judgment for their crop in their country or their region where they are active, to collect this information. Actually, in the LiveSeed project, we started to ask the seed supplier in a survey if they can give us numbers, how much organic seed they supply and vegetative propagating material. But because of that's a secret business information, most of the suppliers are hesitant to provide this information, although it will not be published because it will be pooled for the crops and the regions, or for the countries. But anyhow, they didn't answer to this, all of them, and now we have this different strategy that we asked. We have information. We have now these numbers where we collected an estimation, and now we want to ask the supplier again to make a judgment, because on their best guess method, the method of best guessing, we want to collect this information, and we put this across all this information and try to find out how much organic seed is available in the different countries for the different crops. But it is a very difficult subject, and we would be very happy if people would share their knowledge on the availability of certain cultivars or certain seeds in a certain country for a certain crop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also to add to this, so in different countries, there's also expert groups. So for instance, in Germany, we have expert groups where there's also suppliers, the main suppliers of Germany, for instance, who can then give also very good judgment of, or like they have a good overview of what is available in Germany, and based on those information, the expert group can then decide on the on which categories to put the species. So we don't have exact numbers of the quantity, but because there's the authorities represented, but also the suppliers represented in those expert groups, it can still be evaluated, the overall availability.
Okay, thank you very much. I just wanted to say once again, yes, we did record this session and we will send it to everyone afterwards. Yeah.
I see that a bit, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I see a bit earlier, there was again a question by Christoph Betschat. Can you show how we can export the offers in CSV? I can quickly show you directly in our demo version. One moment. So now you see the demo version of the router database, and I have clicked on offer export. And here you can click directly on export offers, and you will export all your offers that are available or unavailable, or you also say I also want to export archived offers. Then you click on export offers and you will download a CSV file. So it's very easy to do.
Okay, thank you very much. So are there any further questions or remarks? I think that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. Okay, now the questions are coming. Is it also possible to import CSV files?
Normally not, because we've tried it before and we had the problem that then there were a lot of double entries. I mean, if you have a long list of offers that you want to place, you can contact us and we can see whether it's possible, like whether I can import it for you. But yeah, I can't promise anything because it might be that there's double entries and then the import will not work.
Okay, thank you very much. But maybe with the relaunch, we are working on an improved situation or our database. As we mentioned, the database, the programming is already for the organic X seed is already 10 years old, and of course, if we change something in organic X seed, it might also have impact on the router database. But we are working on both. So we work on the router database in the LiveSeeding project, and apart from that, we work on organic X seed as FIBE. And yeah, if you're interested also as a authority, it is still possible to use this organic X seed tool also in other countries. So if you have contact to your authority and you think it would be useful for your country, but because your database is maybe not that up to date or not easy to handle or not so many functions implemented, maybe you can push forward your authority to send a request, an official letter, maybe via your organization or together with other seed supplier to your authority to request to at least to think of a possible connection to this router database or to improve their national database. This is also possible. So thank you very much. Have a nice day. And yeah, stay tuned with the LiveSeeding.